So let's watch this. This is Justin Rose on the left, Adam Scott on the right. And I'm going to draw this line for a target line for each of them. It's nice that they each have an alignment stick on the ground. Let's look at Justin Rose. He's going to make more of what you said earlier as the perfect swing. I would never use that word, except for you mentioned it. Like, we're not looking for perfection. We're looking for good ball flight.
That's an ideal swing path.
Yeah, so if you built a robot, it would swing the way you explained. Yes. So think about this. So he's swinging the club. He's the robot, and he's basically, you could take a pipe and stick it in the ground like this, right? Now, because we've got a human here, we've got a lever that comes down this way, and then the lever juts out that way, right? You wouldn't build a machine to hit golf balls that way. You would build the machine to do something more like that, or like that, and change the line angle of the club. Does that make sense when I say change the line? Okay. So I'm going to put a line. I'm going to leave him alone right now. So the plane of that club is going to start off something like this. Okay? And just imagine if he had a sheet of plywood underneath that golf club and it was tilted just like that, he could hit golf shots with it. Right? Even if it came back 4 feet on each side. Okay, so right here you can see his club has come off of that piece of plywood already. And the reason for that is that the end of his lever is up on his shoulder. Okay? Okay, but you can see that his club shaft is parallel to his target line. Okay? Okay. Now as he gets about here, right? I'm not sure where perpendicularly round is. I'm guessing like about there. So I'm thinking it's perpendicularly round about here. The low end of that club is pointing really close to that target line. So the reason I'm drawing the line now is because I think his club is perpendicular to the ground. Okay? Yes, so let me finish with this first, and then we'll get to all that. Yeah. So he's pretty much on a perfect swing plane. Okay? So your club is on plane when the low end of the club points at the target line.
The low end of the club points at the target line. Low end of the club meaning the toe of the club?
Low end. So right now the butt is the low end for him, right?
I see. So whatever side of the club is closest to the ground is the low end.
Yes. So if we put laser beams, one right out the shaft on the heel of the club, one out the butt of the club. If you put like that, a laser beam on each side, it would always be pointing at the target line, except for when the club is parallel to the ground. Then your little dots would be pointing dead parallel to your target line. Make sense? Okay. So as he makes his swing, he's very close to having a perfect swing because his club is virtually on plane all the time. Now what's helping him is this. So I'll watch him go through here a little more. What's helping him is this. The way that his wrists work when he gets started. See how his his arms are hanging below his shoulders? And you can see there's a direct correlation between his shoulders turning and his hands moving. What we don't see is any sort of a thing where the left palm or the left back of his left hand starts to get out facing the ball. Okay? So this is really, really key. Okay. So, and because his golf swing on the way back is really close to on plane, it's really easy for him to just make a natural turn through and have it be coming back at coming back at the ball with a good swing path, because the plane influences the path. Does that make sense? So think of that piece of plywood. if that piece of plywood, the front of it was over here, let me change the color. If the front of his plywood was here, and the back of his plywood was out here, and he had to swing on that, right? And so his plywood was pointing out this way. Can you see how his path would be out to in? Make sense? So your swing plane determines your swing path, especially on the way down, especially. Okay. So he's set up so that he's going to have a pretty good swing path, you know, pretty naturally. Okay. Adam Scott. So you see him get started. Notice how when he gets his club parallel to the ground, he's not parallel to his target line. His shaft is pointing left of what would be parallel. So when he gets to that point where he's perpendicular to the ground, his shaft is definitely not pointing at the target line, the low end. It's definitely not. It's definitely inside of it. So right now that plane, if he were to make his downswing on that plane, he would hit the ball, he'd miss the ball on the inside. So his adjustment to fix it is to make the opposite adjustment of you. So on the way down, he's going to come underneath that line a little bit. See that? So watch how his hands work on the way back. They look like they come pretty much straight down, but he just kind of drops a little teeny bit under. So he is predisposed to come a little bit more from the inside of the target line as he comes at the ball than Justin Rose is. So see how his club head is way behind his hands back here? He's set up, though, to hit the ball in the inside part of the ball and start a little bit to the right and get a nice little draw.
How can he hit the ball so well if he's all over the
Repeatability. So he is really likely to always have that slight in-to-out path. Justin Rose is more little left, little right with those two swings.
Then what makes them be able to hit so well? If no swing's perfect, how can they get there 7-iron, 200 yards?
Practice, talent. You know, they've both been coached. But if you take the new guys out, if you talk about like Lee Trevino or those older guys, it's practice and talent. You know, and now the truth of it is of all the golfers and of the game of golf and enjoying yourself, right? Like I'm not a talented guy like these guys are, not even close in any sport. But because I worked, you know, I practiced a lot. And I'm not terrible at sports, and I got good coaching, and I do all the little basic stuff really well. Compared to everybody else, I'm doing really good at golf. Now, compared to somebody who's practicing twice as much as me and is 10 times more talented, I'm not in that league. You know? So the truth of it is, in order to play the game to enjoy yourself, we don't need talent. But if you don't have talent, it's nice to be able to have a little time and some concepts, you know. And so that's what we're talking about. I mean, it's the same. Like, did you play sports in high school?
Yeah.
What'd you play?
Growing up, I played everything. High school, I played lacrosse.
Okay, so just imagine you take the best athlete there is in the football team, and you put him on the lacrosse team, and you've been playing lacrosse 4 years, and he's never picked up a lacrosse stick. How's he going to do? Even if he's the best, Barry Sanders with a lacrosse stick ain't beating you. Not the first day. He might just run by everybody, but you know what I mean. Okay, so that's the idea about the swing there. Now, I'm going to answer your question about what you're doing over here. So let's talk about this really simple, though, right?
Just like tell me where to be.
Okay.
Feel that, so then I can practice.
All right, so this doesn't matter who we use.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to get a split screen here of Justin Rose.
This guy more.
Justin Rose?
Well, I feel like this is the swing I'd rather. The other guy's completely opposite.
That's why I like him for you, though. Try to be him, and you'll end up this guy. Okay, so notice his setup. Hands roughly in front of his chest. Club shaft in between his forearms.
Roughly in front of his chest.
See that?
Is his club angled?
Yeah, his shaft is tilted a little bit like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Hands roughly in front of his chest.
Okay. Shoulders are off a little bit, but I guess that's right. That's normal, right?
Yes.
Shoulder flat.
Correct.
Okay.
See here? Hands roughly in front of the chest. Shaft in between the forearms. That's what we want. That's roughly what we're looking for. And so when you talk about where should I be, we don't need some exact micro. We need hands in front of chest, hands in front of chest. Yep. Hands in front of chest going back. Yep. So make your backswing. Keep going. Are they in front of your chest? Take a look at them. Are they matching up pretty well with your sternum? They're pretty good. And your shaft would be between your forearms. That's good.
So you're saying if I was like right here, then you're saying it'd be behind my chest. So that's my. See that?
Good.
So it's.
Let me send this one too before it's too long again.
Be sure to check out our YouTube channel for more instructional videos.